What was it like? Obviously, as times moved along, as you were moving from place to place, and you were, I'm not gonna tell the whole story of the book on the video.
No,
we're not gonna do that. So you're gonna have to get the book. But at one point, you and my father, an artist grown, started becoming intimate. I'm trying to wonder for myself as a person, how did you feel? How was it to be that way, knowing that every single day you might get killed? Did it affect the moments that you were together? How did it hit you? How did it strike you as a person?
To be honest, I did not think. I really did not think. It went automatically. You trusted the person. It had nothing to do with love that time, from my side. And I really did not think. I thought I can die every day, so I want to have everything out of life as much as possible.
So you want to enjoy life, and at least whatever moments you could grab. Is that what you're
Because I was already that time 21 years. I didn't know what was intimate with a man.
Mm-hmm.
He was madly in love with me, and I had really no idea what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it, and it was an intimate feeling that you had somebody who was so close to you.
Okay. Now, you ended up. You went from place to place. I know that I sometimes find myself in an environment. Oh, I think we might be getting company in a second. That's okay. It doesn't matter.
No.
I find myself sometimes in an environment where I look at the clock and I think, is this ever going to end? You had to be in places. I'm talking about already once you're out of Amsterdam. You didn't know how long you were going to be there. Did you ever stop and think, does this feel like it's going on forever? Is this ever going to end?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You really lived day by day.
Mm.
And every day that you had a little sunshine and you went outside and it was light, you thought another day. But you never know, or you went through the day, or you were killed, or that you had to go away, that they pick you up. You have never an idea. You really had no idea or you would live or not.
Mm-hmm.
Really not.
And you had to be an actress on occasion.
I was a very good actress. I was so-called in love with somebody. When I was from one place to another place.
Right, the ship.
The ship.
Right.
And it was a ship with all German soldiers. And I was all by myself, and you had to trust the man who did it for you. Because that time I was young, and I was sometimes frightening that they would rape me or what, so, especially from the Germans. But probably God was good to me.
There's nothing to, no, that's a nice, that's true. I mean, but then you ended up, obviously, at one night, one very special night, very difficult night, but you ended up in the house of Lubertus and Geeske de Kiefte.
Yeah.
When you first walked in that door, and you saw this enormous figure of a man who, in my memory of knowing him, you could almost probably perceive him when
you the first thing what he did to me? He put his arms around me, and he cried almost. And that was the moment that I knew I was in good hands.
Right away.
Right away.
Right away. Right away.
Right away. No one had any. He had what he thought was a friend of him, and the name was Plomb. I remember the name finally, but and he came once at the door, and he knew that he had someone. And Bertus told him that he stayed out of the house. If he ever did something to me, he would kill him, and he would have done it. What he said to Bertus, he said, "You cannot trust the Jews." And Bertus' answer was always, "Time would learn." And he learned because we are very close. And the daughter, youngest daughter, who is still alive, feels that I am her aunt, not by blood, but really family, and we are very close till the day for today.
Right. What about Bertus' wife, Geeske? What was your first memory of her?
What do you mean?
Well, you walked in the door. You remember him right away. What do you remember first about her?
I remember first about him, who he stood there and looked at me, because in the country, in Amsterdam, there are a lot of Jewish people. but in the country itself not so many. And he had no idea who he would go at the home. That was for him also very dangerous. And when he first, he saw me the first time, I remember that he told me, when everything was done, that he and Geeske left me right away.
And they not only acted that way to you, they acted like that to the entire family.
They treated all the people that way.
They treated me that way as a child of yours, years later. I remember that.
Always.
I called them aunt and uncle, and I feel like their family.
Yeah.
What was the most frightening moment that you had when you were in Leeuwenhoek?
One of the most frightening, there were a few, but the most frightening was that I was in my cellar and that they were bombing the place over the canal.
Before you do that, can I give a quick brief description of the cellar? Or do you want to do it? No, you do it. People want to hear you. Brief.
The cellar, he was a contractor. He had a big place with all his stuff what he needed to make homes. And he had a lot of cement bags. They are very heavy, and he made a wall, an whole wall, in the workplace. In the workplace. And there were three in the middle, 3 bags, just filled with very light stuff. I don't know what it was again. And you could take the
it was sandpaper.
What?
Sandpaper, I think.
No, it was not sandpaper.
Oh, it was even lighter.
It was the stuff when you, what do you call that? When you have wood and that.
Oh, wood shreds. Okay, whatever, wood chips. Okay.
And you could take them very easy away. And then you came with a few steps, so you had to go up a few steps. And then you made a big opening and covered that with wood. And you could make only the open with your hands and on the outside, not in the inside when you was there. And then they put a ladder in, I had to go downstairs in the ladder, and I came in the cellar. There were no windows, there was nothing. There was very a lot of water in.
How long were you there?
16 months.
Okay.
And when it was safe, I went out during the day. But I spent a very, very lot of often there because it was often not safe. And it was during the winter especially, the honger winter, 44, 45. Before that we were free, but the nights were very long. And as soon as it was dark, I had to go there. So I had a few hours, and it was say during the day, that I could spend up. And there was very lot of water. The bed was wet really, but you had to sleep. And I remember they had a big yard with apple trees, little star apples. And he gave Geeske gave me always some apples. And I had a little candle just to be in the bed that you couldn't hurt yourself. And the most frightening time when I was in there was the time that they bombed the canal, because there were ships in the canal, and it were the good people who bombed it. It was the English people or the Canadians, I don't know anymore. But they had to do that. And I couldn't hear anything, and I couldn't see anything. And if I would have bombed their clothes, I couldn't go out of the cellar anymore, because I couldn't go out myself. Bertus, the keeper, every day he brought me there when I was out of the cellar if I could, and then he knocked on the cover 3 times, 1, 2, 3. I knew it was safe. He opened it and I came out.
Okay, which is a wonderful credit to 2 things. First of all, it also very much shows what a great man Bertus de Kiefte was, but even more so, it shows how incredibly strong you were for experiencing that. But I understand you were not always alone in that cellar. Is that correct?
What?
You were not always alone in that cellar. Is that correct?
No. That time my friend came regular over. I was okay. And he stayed then over and got a good dinner from Geeske and a warm meal. And then we went to bed together.
And a good dessert.
Yeah, I got dessert.
Okay. I can't believe when I say that I'm talking about my parents.
Why not?
No, I know.
There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Not at all. On the contrary. Now, what was the best moment that you remember at the time with the Tequiftas?
The best moment, it wasn't the best moment, but the nicest moment was when Antje was born. Antje was born in June, in the summer of 44. She's not alive anymore, and that hurts me very much. And I remember, she was of course not my baby, but if there was something, once they were flying over the canal, and Geeske, the mother van Antje, who was the wife van Bertus, was outside. She was not afraid for anything. And Antje was a little baby, and the bombs were flying around the house, and she was standing in the portal, but she couldn't go in the house. She was locked out, and I could not open it. So I went under the table, put Antje under me, and when it was over, we were all safe.
And you felt the tables and everything shaking from the bombs.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. I can't even imagine. Skipping ahead a little bit, maybe not. I don't know if it happened at this time. At what point did you realize that you might actually like this guy that you ended up marrying later, my father? When did you actually end up, that you might actually like him, and would you say you actually started loving him?
I actually really started to love him when he knew, when we were free, and that I knew that I was pregnant for my oldest son. And he gave his dream up. He was in America as a Marine, and he was already sent to Japan. He gave everything up for me and came back to me. I think that is when I really started to love him. Mm-hmm. Somebody who does that for you really loves you. And he took me all my life. He took care of me. I was 62 years married. And we have 5 children now. And 12 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren. A big family. He is not here anymore. He died almost 5 years ago. But we had a good life together. Not always easy, but we stayed together all those years.
No, I have always said, you've heard me say this many times, that between 1940 and 45, he saved your life. And after 45, you saved his life every day since. Yeah. And I always felt that way, because I felt that the truth of the matter is, obviously I miss him, but if you had gone first, he would have been gone already now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and in the book, I try to get this message across to people. There was a different type of strength. A different type of strength that you had, and a different type of strength that he had. Do you have anything else? I think this is a good
ending.
A good ending. Do you have anything else you want to say for people out there? Or do you want to have the last word, or do you want me to have the last word? Who has the last word?
The last word.
Me or you? Who has the last word? Then before you know the last word, I just want to say that for anybody who wants to follow the book, know more about the book, you can go to hollandsheroes.com. So that's HOLLANDSHEROES.com. hollandsheroes.com. There's a Facebook page called Drew Face, or you can buy it on Amazon.com or BarnesandNobles.com. It's called Drew Face, A Story of Love and Heroism in Nazi-occupied Holland. And now my mother, who I love very much, will give you the last word.
My last word is, try to enjoy life as best as you can. You never know when your last day is there. Just look outside, look at the sun, look at the flowers. Life is beautiful. You have one life to live, and the best things, they come in everyone's life. But just enjoy life and appreciate the good things, not only the material things. Thank you.